Thank you. Now, a man dubbed the British Tinder Swindler has been jailed for 4 years after duping a woman out of more than £150,000. Frank Adozi met his victim on a dating website and lured her in with a story about working on an oil rig with the wrong bank card. Eventually, he persuaded the woman to transfer vast amounts of money, all to fund a lavish lifestyle. So with romance fraud almost doubling since the pandemic, should the banks be helping to foot the bill? It's a bit of a controversial one, and some banks do help, Gloria.
Well, we'll come to that in a minute, because they do help in certain circumstances, and in the last year they've upped the game from that point of view. I think what we should all think of to begin with is that these scammers, all scammers, are so clever. And the police will tell you they're ahead of the game. So you have to bear that in mind, because they have offices all over the world. They do nothing but just think of the next scam. And I know of a woman who lost £500,000. Now, it's very easy to say, how silly could you be in passing that money over? But this was the true scenario. This woman, divorced, kids all grown up, living on her own, absolutely down in the dumps, thinking, what's the rest of my life? Only in her 60s, so she still had a lot of life to live. And, of course, she got in touch, vice versa, with this man. And he, because they're so clever, and they smooze you and they groom you, and, of course, all of a sudden, she's on fire. You know, she's thinking, this is a new life for me. And he was very believable, as most scammers are. And so in the end, between sending money to, I think he was a doctor or something in the US Army, sending money to get him out of the army so they could be together, we want to be together. In the end, the $500,000 went because she sold her house believing in here 1,000,000% that they were going to live together and this was going towards buying the house. Now, it's very easy to be very sceptical and judgmental about it. But these people, unfortunately, when they get scammed for many reasons, not just romance scams, but they get, I know of one situation where this woman is having to have a meeting, actually this coming weekend, with a psychiatrist to try and put her head back in shape. Because it's not only hard on the heart and the being, also you drive yourself crazy by just thinking, and how could I do that?
You feel stupid yourself, don't you?
Yes,
you sit there,
of course.
You know, not on that level, but I was scammed out of a holiday. And I know that's different to this, and I didn't get the money back. But it's that moment of everyone's just going to go, how could you fall for that? But it was so well done.
But I feel sorry for those women. I really do. And my heart bleeds for people who must be so, trusting and desperate and lonely and whatever. It really does. But I cannot accept that the bank would pick up the tab for it, because that's the other customers paying for someone else's gullibility, and I'm really sorry about that, but I don't want to pay for it. And I know if it happened to me, I wouldn't expect anybody else to pay for it. I'd think, you idiot, what have you done?
Well, romance scams are different, aren't they? I mean, let's say...
but romance scams...
No, hang on.
It's your
But you have to divide it up a bit, because if you, for example, you get an HMRC scam, is really, really millions of people that fall for it every year. And the only difference from an HMRC piece of paper is maybe one little digit. So people get sucked in out of fear of being in debt.
Yeah, but they're professional scammers,
Let me just put the rest of it in context.
That's all they do. Here's the point. Emotionally blackmailing
if you had
people.
an HMRC scam and you paid it was a scam, and you've pushed that button, in the last year, the banks have had to join up and agree that with some of these things, they are genuine scams and they have to pay it back. Or if you pay something in your credit...
Gloria.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You're making a decision to give someone your money, right? Because you're believing that they haven't got a card and they work on an oil rig, right? That's what happened there.
There's a difference between an ordinary scam and a romance scam,
when you get an email through from a professional scammer that's actually gone to a lot of trouble to fake the bank's website, the address, everything, I can understand more why people fall for that. And also, there are banks... The banks do actually check everything now. So if they don't check that this money is going through to the wrong person, these people are given permission.
Also, if someone I was talking to online said, I'm on an oil rig and I've brought the wrong bank card, can you send me so much money? I'll be like, On an oil rig, you won't need a bank card.
Yeah. You go,
Well, you'd be like, why do you need a bank
It's all
card
right
on
in
an oil rig?
hindsight, though, to be saying, well, why did I do that?
It's like you say, but then it's either issues of the heart, isn't it, or issues of fear when it comes to, oh my gosh, I owe the tax man money, I owe a bank. It's two different sorts of scams, very much so, but ultimately they are playing on extreme levels of our emotions, and they know they're just very clever at doing it. But should the bank be picking up the bill for that?
Not for
older
Tinder
people in
swindlers.
particular. The banks have now been taught and primed. The banks themselves teach their own staff to, if, for, say, an elderly person comes in and says, "Oh, I'd like to draw out £30,000, please," and they go, "Actually, that's not really historically the way you organise yourself. Can you just come into a room and just have a chat about it?" They've been trained to do that and then to follow through and see if that is legitimate or not. Pardon?
Well, I should think so too.
Absolutely,
Of course
but
they
it
should
didn't
be
always,
doing that because they
didn't
haven't
always
always.
happen.
But at the end of the
as you
day,
well
if they then go, I still want £30,000, it's my money, and it's a scam, even though they've been warned by the bank, should the bank then have to pay if they've already warned you?
Because I know even just with simple things like online grocery shopping, I have to go through a bit of a palaver and have to do
Who's this for?
get the text, and then there's a code comes and you have to send that back. So there actually is a process for something as simple as my grocery shopping every single week. So I get that there should definitely be things in place, and if there's suspicious activity, of course the bank should be on it. But when it comes to £500,000, if you've just suggested there now, Gloria, it's a different
Best bit of advice I
situation.
can give anybody is pay with your credit card and the bank will always pay you back.
The credit card's definitely a safer option as any other kind of transfers, and
Definitely.
you're in issues. But it's a horrible situation. We asked you at home, should banks always foot the bill? In love scams, 70% of you said no. So there you go.